Welcome, film fans and fam, to the first Filmmakers Friday with your guy, Rod the Right One. So I'm here actually before this video to kind of give you a little heads up. I wanted to make this one video, but I got a little carried away on the topic, so it's actually going to be a two-part video. So part one drops right now. As soon as I finish this little speech, part two will be next Friday. All right, so you're not going to want to miss it. I'm giving you some good stuff when it comes to making films. All right, so sit back, grab your popcorn, grab a notebook, and take it all in. Hey, it's Friday, but you're here with me, so I appreciate you. So let's not do any more talking. Let's get right to it. What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Rod the Right One, man, here with the first episode of Filmmakers Friday, your one-stop shop for all you need to kind of help boost your filmmaking. So I'm going to be talking about gear, things you're going to need, essentials. I'll do some behind-the-scenes footage of some stuff that I'm filming as I go along, and so on and so forth. If you're new to filmmaking, you're just starting out, you want to kind of figure out the game, this is your place. This is where you need to be, all right? So before you do anything else, like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit that notification bell, because every single Friday I'm going to be bringing you something when it comes to filmmaking. I'm here to actually show you guys or take you guys on the journey of things you're going to need, little tidbits here and there about pieces of gear, plans, storyboards, all that good stuff when it comes to actually shooting the film that you're going to need to know. I'm the guy that you're going to want to follow. Listen to me. I'll teach you. I'll show you the way. All right. This is the way. All right, Mando. With some Mando Friday stuff. But without further ado, let's get into it, baby. All right. So, like I said in the intro, we are here. I am here to show you some filmmaking essentials. In today's episode, I'm actually going to focus on some of the things you're going to need if you want to shoot a short film or a feature-length film today. If you were looking to start to shoot a film today, a couple items, a couple things that you're going to need. You don't need this masterful kit that all these other filmmakers have. It's only a couple essential things that you're definitely going to need to make sure that your film is going to come out exactly how you want it and that you're not going to have any snags on set. A lot of my stuff focuses on some one-man band stuff, but in the event that you have help, I'll even give you some advice on that stuff too, all right? So without further ado, let's get right into the list. Number one, it's an obvious one. You're gonna need a camera, right? The first thing you're gonna need if you're gonna shoot a film is a camera. And there's a bunch of different routes you can go. First and foremost, Canon has a million cameras. The Rebel series is a great series for photos and videos. I own a Rebel T5i. It's a great camera. It has a flip screen. It can kind of get the job done if you're on a small budget when it comes to camera. And you're gonna have an EF mount when it comes to Canon. There's so much great Canon lenses out there, which is gonna be number two. Just a little sneak peek. But there's so many great Canon lenses out there, and just all the other lens companies, some of the main ones, Sony lenses, whatever the case may be, everything comes in EF. You can find it for anywhere, right? Even like the biggest cinema cameras like Reds, a lot of them come with EF mounts. So Canon is a great way to go. Nikon has some great stuff. They're more so on the still side, but you can get away with some videos for Nikon. Sony has a lot of hybrid stuff. So Sony, they have a million cameras in their lines. A lot of them are really good at photos and really good at videos. So a lot of people that I know of or that I've seen use Sony videos, or Sony cameras, I should say. And they have a great line of lenses as well. There's also a Panasonic. So a lot of people use Panasonics. I've been eyeing the GS7 for a long time. I haven't bought one, but it's on my bucket list to have. It shoots 4K and video and photo. It's an amazing camera, but a lot of people use GH5s. I've heard nothing but great things about them as well. So can't go wrong with a Panasonic. So those are kind of like your starters, your DSLRs. Those are where you want to start. to kind of go up another notch, there's cinema cameras, right? So this is actually being shot right now on a Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K. And the first short film I actually shot on the original Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, but I wanted to kind of upgrade it as we're going forward. Me and my production company, we're going to start to make more films. I wanted to kind of have something that, at least for the next 5-10 years, to kind of future-proof myself. 1080p is great, but you know, you can get a 4K TV for like $100 now. So it's kind of like, you know, 4K is kind of getting to the thing that's going to be in everyone's household. So I wanted to make sure that I at least had a 4K camera to kind of keep up with that. The computer monitors are going to become 4K just kind of by standard soon. So I wanted to make sure that I was working in that regard. So I got a 4K camera for that purpose. But Blackmagic is probably the best when it comes to starter cinema cameras. So the biggest thing between a cinema camera and a DSLR is going to be the fact that a cinema camera is not really made for stills at all. So the Blackmagic, the original, did not even have a stills button at all. This new camera does have a stills button. I wouldn't use it for stills. It's just not really set up for that manner. The thing is, it's really made for video, but being behind the camera. It's not necessarily a great vlogging camera, or even for YouTube. I have actually an external monitor, which is something that we'll get to a little bit later. But cameras like this are literally when you want to make cinema, you want to make films, or you want to make just high quality videos. This is the camera that you're going to want to use. So Blackmagic has like a starter set. They're kind of like your low end, but great quality. So the image that you get out of this camera is amazing, right? And it is a situation where you can probably find an original on eBay with everything you're gonna need to get started for like $700. And for what the image quality that you get out of the camera, $700 is incredible. The 4K goes for about $1,200 right now. You can find some on eBay for a little bit cheaper with a whole bunch of different things. I would suggest, if you're gonna buy one at this point, unless you're one of those sticklers that needs receipts and things to make sure that you can return it if you need, and so on and so forth, I would suggest going to eBay, just because a lot of people are selling them with cages, extra batteries, stuff like that, for around the same price that you're gonna get if you bought it brand new from like B&H, or even if you bought it brand new on Amazon. eBay's trusted, so it's not like you're gonna get screwed there. So I would suggest that only for that reason, because you're gonna get more of the value. You do what you want to do. They have a 6K version of this camera as well, which runs for about $2,000 US, obviously. And then they have like more cameras up the line, but those are like your starter cinemas that you want to go with if you're on a budget, you don't have a ton of money. Because then once you kind of go up the line, like Red has cameras. Red is kind of like, when it comes to indie filmmaking, it's like the pinnacle, right? It's right before you can get to like the major stuff. So like Arri Alexa makes like the professional cameras. They have a camera, it's called the Alexa Mini, which is kind of like their starter camera. It runs for $20,000. There's no indie filmmaker that has just $20,000 to spare on a camera, right? Just not, we wouldn't be doing this like the way we do it, right? We wouldn't be doing guerrilla filmmaking if we had $20,000 to spare on a camera, right? So the Reds, depending on where you get them from or how you get them, especially the brand new, they have a brand new Red Komodo, super small, super compact. It's about $6,000, it shoots in 6K, amazing. That's if you have some money to kind of blow. You want to go that route and you have an idea of how cameras work. You don't want to use that kind of camera when you're starting out, because it's kind of like that concept of, if I or a newbie was to shoot with like a $100,000 camera, and then you give Chris Nolan a iPhone 7 and you want him to shoot a film, I can almost guarantee you that Chris Nolan's film on that iPhone 7 will come out better than the $100,000 newbie, because it's not necessarily the items that you're using, it's the user. So learn it. So get yourself you can honestly shoot a film with a common camera. Get a Sony, all right, if you want to spend a couple grand. Get a Canon, a couple $100. I bought my Canon T5, sorry, on eBay or Amazon a couple years ago. $200. It works fine. It records 1080p, 24 frames per second. That's all you need. That's all you need. Get started, learn the game, and then as you kind of go on, and as you kind of get a little bit more experience, you buy more stuff. Get better cameras, so on and so forth. So that's your first thing. Second thing is a lens. Right? Pretty obvious. To start, we're gonna go pretty obvious, I won't lie to you. So the second thing is a lens. So with a lens, you want to get a camera that has a good mount. So the beauty of the old school Blackmagic cameras and this current one that I have now has what's called a micro four thirds sensor and mount. And with that, it's a very small mount, but a lot of options. So Panasonic cameras also, so like the GH4 or 5 and the G7, they all have micro four thirds. And so Panasonic makes a ton of lenses that go with them. So if you wanted to go that route, you can. But the only thing you have to just understand is crop factor. We'll get into that in a different video, but that's something that you're gonna wanna look for, or just kind of depending on the look that you're trying to do. But they make things called like adapters and speed boosters, where the micro four thirds camera, like the one that I'm using now, I actually have a Canon EF lens on it because of the adapter that I have. Which kind of brings me back to my point of having a Canon and that EF lens, so adaptable. So there's two types of lenses when you're buying and looking for them. There's photo lenses. Photo lenses, they have a quick focus throw, if you will. So as you're trying to focus, it's slight movement to kind of get you to your point quickly. Because when you're taking photos, that's how you want to do it. You don't want to be there, spending the whole wheel just to kind of get to your focus point. Cine lenses, they actually have a longer throw, because you got to keep in mind a lot of these cine lenses are used for like motion. So if someone's moving, they're walking towards the camera, walking away, in order for it to kind of keep it focused and not have like a bunch of not bouncing back and forth, that has that longer throw, so that you can kind of do it as smooth as you need to back and forth, right? Smooth as you need to back and forth. So cine lenses, and a lot of them some come micro four thirds. It's not a ton, but a lot come EF. There's a lot of EF lenses, like the Sigmas are EF. No, I think you can get them in others, but mainly EF for a Sigma. The Rokinon that I'm actually using right now, they have a whole kit for EF. So it's a very versatile, like I said, the red cameras come EF. The bigger brother, if you will, of the pocket cinema cameras, the Ursas, and the mini Ursas come with EF mounts. A lot of stuff comes EF, so it's a good idea to make sure that whatever lenses that you're gonna go with, stick with that, right? You don't want a bunch of different lens types. Like, you don't want EFs and then PLs and then so on and so forth. And all this will get explained at a later point, so don't worry. If you're lost right now, I'll explain deeper about mounts and stuff like that. But last thing you want to do is have a bunch of different lenses that don't have the same mounts, because then you can only use it with certain cameras and it almost becomes a waste, right? So make sure that one thing that you're going to do is whatever type of lens that you're going to buy, that's what you stick with. All right, I've heard something on plenty of videos when it comes to filmmaking or just videography in general, is it's date your cameras and marry your lens. And by that, it's as simple. Whatever the mount is that you're going to choose, stick with it throughout. Stick with it throughout, and you're good. And then as your cameras go, there are going to be millions of cameras that come out. They come out with new cameras every year. But your Canon glass, or whatever the case may be, is always going to be usable. All right, there's always going to be an adapter for an EF. There's always going to be an adapter for a Nikon. There's always going to be an adapter for whatever the mount is. But as long as you have your lenses as you buy them, they're all the same, you'll be good to go.
While my peers was in the crib watching Beetlejuice, I was outside being a